Well, hey there. You're listening to the Gina Skelpone podcast, a podcast for hustlers and dreamers to get kick in the pants business advice with a little bit of fun mixed in. And this is your host, Gina Skelpone. Hello, friends. Today, we're going to talk about my 5-step framework that works like magic when it comes to being organized in your business. Let me break it down in 5 steps, and then I'm going to go into detail in each one. Number 1, you're going to clearly identify your goals. Number 2, you're going to delegate or ask for help. Number 3, you're going to set an alarm. Number 4, when you're inspired, you're going to write it down. And number 5, you're going to set a timer. Okay, let me go deep into my topics. If you're watching this podcast on video, you can see I have my iPad in front of me. I always have to have notes in front of me because my monkey brain will go left and right and in the center, and then this training won't be good for you. But if you're listening to it on a podcast, don't worry, you cannot see me holding my iPad currently. Okay, let's start with number 1. Let me dive deeper into each one of these steps and share how it looks in my schedule and in my business in hopes that it will help you and inspire you, my friends. Okay, number 1, you're going to clearly identify your goals. That is the most important thing you can do in business because it helps you stay focused. So I like to break them down annually, quarterly, and then monthly. Like, what are my goals financially, new projects I'm working on, new services I want to bring into my business? This keeps me focused and makes it really easy for me to say no to invites, phone calls, scrolling, or sidetracking. Here's an example. It's so easy to open up an app like Instagram and get sidetracked for me. Housewives drama or breaking news in the Bravo community. Ooh, I want it now. But when I have 2 hours carved out of my busy day to get work done while Olivia is napping, I have to say no to scrolling. Olivia is my little toddler that I have. Those 2 to 3 hours are used every day when she's napping too. Get on coaching calls with salon owners that have me on retainer. Get on one-on-one coaching calls who pay me for business therapy. Prep for live classes that I teach. Record a podcast episode. Create my own social media content, write my weekly newsletters, create content for other salons' social media pages. There's clear goals and clear timelines to every one of my business responsibilities. When I need to create an email for my weekly newsletters, Trish or Carolyn, my OBM and VA, needed a week ahead of time to check for grammatical errors, to send me the preview to approve, and to get it scheduled in my platform. Then is scheduled, like I said, to Kajabi, my email service provider, which is also the platform I use for my other online programs. If I didn't have that information or content a week ahead of time to them, it screws up their schedule and then we're all scrambling around. And then it looks like I'm a person that someone doesn't want to work with, which I do not want that. I want to be professional and kind to everybody who's on my team. If I'm not prepared for group coaching, it may look silly and I might not be taken seriously as a business coach. So I can never not be prepared for live group coaching for people who are paying me to coach them in their business. When I set goals, it's usually to attract a specific amount of income. That's how it works for me. With the several areas of my business where I create income, every responsibility needs a time slot in my schedule. Otherwise, I end up feeling overwhelmed or I don't have enough time to complete my task. Okay, moving on to number 2. We're going to delegate or ask for help. This is so common and I think very hard for a lot of us female business owners to do. We don't ask for help enough. We don't delegate enough. And I'm asking you, my friend, to really think about doing this in your business. So I can't tell you how important it is for busy entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur, you are busy. Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. I can't tell you how many people in our industry try to do it all. 1, we tend to be control freaks. 2, we're perfectionists. And 3, we're just used to it. So we just do it. We pile more and more and more work on our shoulders. We do not need to do that. I'm going to encourage you to think about delegating out things in your business and even in your personal life. When you're time blocking for the week, think about who could help you with the task that needs to be done. Could you ask for some help in your home with meal prepping from your honey or your kids? Could you hire someone to come in the salon once a month to clean it? Could you look for support in communities with other hairstyles when you're feeling stuck? Could you potentially hire a VA, a virtual assistant, to help free up some of your time so you can market your business, take more clients, or build out your team? We're looking to task out responsibilities that we don't need to be doing or that we're not super good at and or we don't really love to do. Number 3. This is so simple, but it works great for me, and I can't tell you the amount of times that I've shared this strategy with other people inside my paid programs. You're going to set an alarm, my friend, so you don't forget about important things. Here's how it looks in my business. Every night, I set an alarm for everything that I need to do the next day. I look at my schedule for phone calls, play dates with my mama friends, client appointments, live classes, anything I need to do at a specific time the next day. Like I said, even including personal things like going to a specific place as for a play date with my mama friends and my daughter. It's written in my calendar what I need to do, and I set an alarm. And I give myself a 5 to 10 minute cushion so I'm not scrambling around last minute when I need to go coach live classes at 5 p.m. on Monday. So, number 4, when you're inspired, I want you to write it down. If you're out doing something with your family, if a client inspires you, if something you see on a show or a movie inspires you, I want you to pull up the Notes app on your phone and I want you to write it down. Our brains are not designed to remember everything. So if you have an idea for a hair tutorial you want to create, or a client you want to reach out to, or a post you want to create online, I want you to write it down. Our brains are designed to be creative and in the moment. They're not designed to remember everything, my friends. So when you have an idea, pull out the notes app on your phone and just jot it down really quick. What I do in my business, when a client leaves my chair and she asks me some really good questions that piques my brain and says, I should probably record a hair tutorial about this. I write it down right away. Even if my next client is sitting right there, I say, hey, Stephanie, just give me one moment. I pull up my phone, take some quick notes, I save it, and I go back to my client. So when I'm creating content for a video, all I have to do is pull up the Notes app on my phone where it's labeled Content Ideas for Hair Tutorials. I'm not scrambling to come up with content. I'm prepared because I've been taking notes on things that inspire me. And I want I want to encourage you to do the same thing, my friends. And number 5, you're going to set a timer. If you tend to get distracted or have issues with time management, this one will really help you, my creative souls out there. When you're practicing the time blocking technique at the beginning of every week, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look on one of my podcast episodes or one of my YouTube videos. I talk about it all the time, everywhere. Go on my Instagram account, my Facebook account. I'm always talking about time blocking. It's the best exercise you can implement in your business and in your life. So when you're practicing time blocking at the beginning of the week, and you're working on that specific task that you've carved out 2 hours, let's say, to do, I want you to set a timer so you don't spend too much time on one task and so you don't get distracted. And so you finish at the time that you've allotted yourself. This will help with perfectionism and procrastination. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Setting a timer for the allotted amount of time that you've given yourself for a specific task that you think is important because you've time blocked about it will help with perfectionism and procrastination. Oftentimes, when I'm procrastinating on a task or responsibility, it's usually because one of two things. Number one, I'm overwhelmed and my mind can't slow down enough to focus. Or number two, I have something called analysis paralysis because I want this thing to be so perfect, I'm procrastinating at even starting it. So when we set clear goals, when we organize our time, when we time block every week, and we set an alarm so we don't forget the important tasks, and we set an alarm so we allow ourselves a specific amount of time to do the task, we get stuff done, my friend. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, tell me which idea would sit off the most, my friend. If you're listening to this, hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM. Tell me which idea, 1 through 5, resonated with you the most. If you think this training video will help out a friend, share the link, please. I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day and cheers and good luck to more efficiency in your life. Bye, friends.